Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber King of the Depths, I am playing Modern Doomsday. And by Doomsday, I mean Recross the Paths. If you've watched the channel before, or you're familiar with Legacy or Vintage metagames, Doomsday is a 3-mana sorcery. You exile all the cards in your deck and graveyard, lose half your life, and then put 5 of those cards back on top of your deck in the order of your choosing, and then you should be able to win the game with those 5 remaining cards. Recross the Paths does a pretty good Doomsday impression. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a land. Put that card onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So, there are no lands in this deck. Recross the Paths is look at your deck and then stack it in any order. Once you cast Recross the Paths, you should be able to figure out how to win with your perfectly stacked deck on the following turn. And the way that this deck is set up to do that is you put Epic Experiment on the top. Recross the Paths costs 3, so on the next turn you'll have 4 mana to cast Epic Experiment for X equals 2. Epic Experiment is Genesis Wave for spells, where you exile the top X cards of your library, and you may cast instant and sorcery spells with mana value X or less from among them without paying their mana cost. Epic Experiment for X equals 2 will cast the 2 mana Morphos that you stacked under it, and then you end up with 4 mana and you draw 2 cards. The 2 cards you're going to draw are Ironcrag Feat, which makes 7 mana, and Goblin Charbelcher, which you can cast and activate for 7 mana, and deal 40-ish damage to your opponent because your deck has no lands to reveal. So this is like a crazy Doomsday Belcher deck. Goblin Charbelcher is an established modern archetype, so is Oops All Spells, and this does pull from the playbook of both of those decks. The big difference is that this combo package is really tight. It's basically the 4 Recross the Paths, the Belcher, Epic Experiment, and Ironcrag Feat, which is like 7 cards. And then you can kind of do what you want with the spell slots otherwise. And what King of the Depths has chosen to do is Collected Conjuring, which is a 4-mana sorcery. It's basically Collected Company for sorceries. Exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast up to 2 sorcery spells with mana value 3 or less from among them without paying their mana cost. The ideal backup situation, if you don't just naturally curve Recross into your win, is on turn 4 you can Collected Conjuring and then cast a discard spell with your first cast, and then cast Recross the Paths with the other. This deck's pretty good at finding Recross the Paths, all things considered. It's got some fast mana to help speed it up, some cantrips in Scour All Possibilities and Serum Visions, Pyroclasm to keep you alive, Spike Field Hazard and Shatter Skull Smashing can double as removal as well. All of these DFC lands are also spells. Like, this one helps you find your combo, keeps you alive, helps dig, helps rebuy your combo, helps protect your combo. Like, all of these spells are somewhat relevant, except maybe this one. But that is what the deck's trying to do. There's an Endurance in the deck as well. In case your first fire off of the combo doesn't work, you can Endurance and reset it all. The sideboard has mostly just protective spells to keep you alive, but there is another juke over there, which is Collected Company, Thassa's Oracle, and Undercity Informer. If you expect resistance from the Belcher kill, like if your opponent has Leyline of Sanctity or Collector Oof, or something that's going to stop Charbelcher from working, you can make a Recross the Paths pile that casts Collected Company into Oracle and Informer, and then sack the Informer in response to the Oracle trigger. And then Oracle will resolve, and you'll have no cards in your deck, and you win. That's the deck. The basic idea of it is very similar to Legacy Doomsday. The win is very similar to Modern Belcher or Oops All Spells. Let's try this out. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm on the draw in the first round. I have the Belcher in my hand, which isn't actually something you want, but I do have Pyroclasm to stay alive on 2, and to recross the paths on 3. I'm going to keep this. Uh-oh. Getting my Belcher discarded is about the worst thing here. I'm going to play Turn Timber Symbiosis or the Serpentine Wood, whatever the back end is, and I'm not going to pay 3. And as soon as you play one of these lands, your opponent knows exactly what the deal is and that you're a combo deck. I really hope I don't have to go into hard mode on the first round. Just win with a Belcher in my graveyard. Okay, I'm going to play Seagate Reborn. I will pay the 3 life because I'd like to scour all my possibilities. Duress is pretty dope. I have the 4 mana that I need already. I don't think I spend a turn duressing. That just seems like a huge mistake. But what do I want if not duress here? I could take the extra land in case I get discarded. I'm just going to bottom both of those. I honestly don't even know what I'm looking for. Normally you're just shredding with 1 mind, just trying to find recross the paths, but I have 2 in my hand already. We're there. Opponent has Liliana of the Veil. Okay, that doesn't matter. Each player discards a card. I'll dump this Pyroclasm. I don't think that's going to come up here. Then I'm going to recross the paths. Oh, I got the 3rd one. Okay. Shatterskull Smashing. Or the Hammer Pass. Yes, pay the 3. Set up my Doomsday here. Okay. Now I have to click my entire deck. I'm going to put Manamorphose on top in case they have Ragavan or something that messes with my top card, and I can just redraw it anyway. And then under that goes the Epic Experiment, and then the next 2 Manamorphoses, then Ironcrag Feet. The Belcher's already in my hand. Can I sneak a Duress in here? Probably not. No, my mana's already tight. This would be a cool opportunity to have Pact of Negation in the deck. Just if you're already holding one of the combo pieces, you can combo deeper into a extra protection spell. I think I should have the Endurance next in case they discard spell me and take my Belcher. I already have multiple Recross, so I don't need to worry about that. I don't think it really matters what's happening after that, because like my Recross is the whole thing. I guess I could put a Kojo and a Recross just in case with a Inquisition near it. All right, and then I'm just clicking through the rest of my deck because I don't think it matters. There's an any order button over there that I wonder if it's any order of these remaining cards or any order total. I don't want to click that button and fuck up my combo. Hopefully it's just of the remaining cards. I'll experiment with that if I'm up a game at some point. I just want to see the combo work for sure. Okay. I even won the Clash. And I'm going to leave Manamorphose on top, which means if winning the Clash means I get Recross the Paths back. Inquisition can't take anything that matters. I'm going to discard Recross because I have 3 of them. Just hope they don't play main deck Surgical, I guess. A Thoughtseize can collapse my combo. Inquisition cannot take anything. They're just drawing cards with their lands. They know they're dead next turn, probably. And Lingering Souls. All right. Sad. Okay. Play Seagate Reborn. Pay 3 life. Moment of truth. Can I figure this out? Can I do this correctly? I'm going to make green, blue, Manamorphose, float blue, red. There's Epic Experiment. Cast that for 2. Gonna flip 2 Manamorphoses. Cast and cast. These both have to make red. Red, red. Red, red. Ironcrag Feet. Belcher. Belcher's in play, and zap ya. Alright, the opponent is deceased. Doing Doomsday shit. Currently undefeated. Alright, we're against a non-blue deck. Which and they are a green and a white deck, so I probably want to respect Oof. Oh, collected company. I am going to pivot onto this thing. Though they might also have endurance, which makes this version worse. It's tricky. Chaos Blessing. You definitely don't want that in your deck with the Undercity Informer combo. That's not what that's for. I don't think I'm going to need to Dreadbore anything. I could bring in Force of Negation to protect against discard spells. Or problematic Planeswalkers, I guess. You still need all your Conjurings, even if you have this combo in, because the company doesn't combo. Like, it's a payoff once you've cast Recross. If I'm expecting oofs, then Penthead Prism is worse. Do you leave in Belcher, or are you off Belcher? And like, that's the trade you're making. I think I'm off Belcher, which also means I'm off Ironcrag Feet. Just pivot onto a different thing. That makes sense to me. Oh, Collector Oof, I do have a lot of main deck answers to. It's fine. This is what I'm doing. The blue count's pretty low for these Forces of Negation. Maybe that's not true. Okay, the Coco's in my hand already. I'm going to keep this. I can Inquisition them, see what they're working with. And I have some Kojos. I can't cast them yet. Are we getting discard spelled? Thoughtseize, sure. See what they want to do with this. If they take Collected Company, it's going to be really hard to win. Okay, they took my Black Source and my untapped Mana Source. That was pretty smart. Play my land. And Tarmogoyf. Alright, they're just bringing the beats. Shatter Skull Smashing, not helpful. I think I want to play the Valakut Stoneforge tapped. If I draw an untapped land next turn, I'm going to wish I played Smashing so I can cast this card. But that's not where we are. Varlas, okay. Or Vorals. Vorals, yeah. This card basically eats Death Shadow and becomes huge very quickly. Each creature in your graveyard has Scavenge. Scavenge cost equal to its mana cost. And Scavenges, you can exile this to put +1 counters on a creature. So you discard Death Shadow, pay 1 black, and give a creature +13/+13. I do have Endurance, and I can pitch the Coco, but wow, I don't want to do that. Uh-oh. I have to draw basically an untapped blue source this turn, and then Kojo into something that matters. Liana, alright, do you have the Death Shadow? I'll discard Inquisition. They don't have the Death Shadow. Good. Tarmogoyf is only a 2/3. I'll take that all day. Come on, Seagate. Okay. That's probably it. That was our turn to do something. And if I can Manamorphose into Endurance and just like block this Tarmogoyf, that's also pretty relevant. But I probably wouldn't do that. I bet I would Manamorphose for blue-black. I think Inquisition's got to go. Still haven't found anything to use this Varals with. Alright, deck. Okay. Yeah, this is part of the pain of all of your lands are spells. Like getting your relevant colored source Thoughtseize on turn 1. That's the reason Thoughtseize says non-land permanents, because then games become non-games. But I'm up to no good over here, so like design-wise, it's okay. I'm not complaining. It's just ouch. Discard Thoughtseize. We've still a 2/3 somehow, but I think that's going to be plenty. Because now I'm at 6, and if I shock in, if I draw the blue land and shock it in, I'm dead on board. Okay, yeah, I'm dead. That one was much more embarrassing than the first one. But I get to play this time. I get to make my land drop before they do stuff. Do I have room for both combos in the deck? Just in case. If I put in Feet and Belcher, what would I have to cut? And maybe I want Penthead Prism. Just, it does mana fix. I would have absolutely slammed a Penthead Prism for Sunburst as 1 just to get blue mana and cantrip there, or set up my Conjuring. Yeah, I think Penthead Prism might be better than I gave it credit for. And maybe Pyroclasm sucks. If I put Prism in over Pyroclasm, like, Pyroclasm is my answer to Oof, but I boarded out all my things that care about Oof, so, like, there's probably some smart way to figure out which of these things I should be leaning into. Okay, this is what I'm doing. Penthead Prism's back in. On the play, I'm just trying to go fast. Okay, I can Inquisition them. This sucks. I actually can't win because I need to Coco into the Oracle. Like, I'd have to activate Undercity Informer, then cast Oracle from hand. Yeah, I have to mulligan this. Okay, cool. I'm going to keep this one. And I think I'm going to bottom Spikefield Hazard. It's the worst of the land things. And I'm going to get my black mana into play immediately because I have 2 red sources. If they have a discard spell, they probably have to take Recross, but taking Metamorphose is also pretty bad for me. And if they just have, like, Inquisition Surgical, I'm dead. They took Metamorphose, which probably means they have another discard spell. I think that's the only thing that makes any sense there. All right, let's shock this in. Penthead Prism for 2. Setting up for the future. And I am going to Serum Visions right now. There's a Kojo on top. And the land, not quite the land to cast it. I mean, there is a land there. But this isn't preordained. Like, I have to work my way through these cards. Well, my plan is to recross the paths next turn. Okay, I'm going to top these with the Kojo second. Because my plan is to recross the paths next turn, unless they disrupt me. At which point, I need my 4th land to go off anyway, because this is not a land. This will be out of charge counters by the time I'm working through my recross pile. Inquisition gets to take the recross. Okay. And then I'm going to play Valakut Awakening tapped. The Stoneforge, whatever it's called. I guess I could have shocked in Agadeem and then Metamorphose. Oh yeah, that was a better play. But then I don't have 4 mana on the following turn. No, okay. I had a plan. I'm sticking to it. And Liliana's pretty bad here, actually. Because it'll take my... I guess it just takes Metamorphose, which I don't... Oh, I do need Mana... No, I don't need Metamorphose. Right, I played in a way that doesn't need Metamorphose. Because this is my blue source. I'm going to discard the Manamorph. And we're looking for a Collected Conjuring. Right here. Or we're looking for Recross right here. Okay, none of these are Recross. I can Balagad Recovery, which gets Recross back in my hand, and Serum Visions to just pull ahead on cards in the face of this Liliana, or I can Inquisition them and try to slow them down. What does this game look like if I Inquisition them? Then I don't get to make... I think I have to Serum Visions because I'm behind against this Liliana. Balagad Recovery, get back, Recross, and Serum Visions cast. Penthead Prism, Valakut Awakening. Bottom, do I want Penthead Prism? I think I might. Yeah, because I don't have green mana. Of course I do. Top. Get back Recross. Play this tapped. Do not pay 3 life. So Liliana pluses, I discard Agadeem's Awakening. I draw Penthead Prism, play it for 2, remove a counter, cast Recross. Or they Thoughtseize me and I lose. Also a viable option. Yeah, now I'm hellbent against a Death Shadow. Oh, they didn't use Liliana. Whoops. Do they think they don't need to? Do they think I'm dead on board? What just happened? We're living on borrowed time here, but I'll take it. Let's recross these paths. I think they just fucked up. Okay, Metamorphose on top. Oh no. I didn't want Metamorphose on top. Because I already used several of them. Can I Control Z that, or will that break? Alright, nope. Decision's already made. I guess I have 4 mana. I can just Collected Company. Alright, yeah, that's fine. Collected Company. Oh, I need 5 mana to do that, though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, I fucked this up so hard. Oh no. I didn't count my Metamorphosis before I started clicking, and there's 2 in the graveyard, and I needed 2 there. I can draw... Alright, let's try to mitigate this. I draw Metamorphose for turn. They make me discard it. I draw Collected Company on the following turn. They make me discard it. Shit. Yep, I fucked up. My life is pain. And I didn't bring the Belcher back in to reset this. God damn it. Alright, should have looked before I just started clicking. I Metamorphose into Company. I don't think there's a way to find another mana here. There's no Lotus Petal. There's no Simian Spirit Guide. Oh, wait. I have 5 mana sources in play. God damn it. All right. Slow down, man. The size of this window, I was dragging it around and I couldn't tell that I had 5 mana sources. All right. I'm going to chill. I have it unless they can disrupt me. Oracle. And where's the guy? Undercity Informer. And then Endurance. Or do I want Epic Experiment after that? I could Epic Experiment in case this doesn't work. But Coco's going to see 6 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so that's the Coco. Underneath the Coco, I'm going to have Epic Experiment. That's going to hit Manamorphose and 2 Serum Visions. I guess Scour is better than Serum Visions because it's all free. At that point, the mana cost doesn't matter. Okay, now I'm going to click any order and hope that it only counts the... All right, Manamorphose is on the top of my deck. They revealed Lingering Souls to the Clash, so they have 1 card in their hand and Lingering Souls. If they can destroy my Pentad Prism or turn it off, I'm going to lose. Their 1 card in hand can't be Endurance because they only have 1 card in hand. I'm not susceptible to discard here. I'm very susceptible to Surgical Extraction. Okay, they can't Endurance me. All right, cool. We win. Wow, that was a lot of work and fucked me right up. Oh my god. This is stressful stuff. My opponent had Blossoming Calm. We were right to pivot. Look at that. Okay, I draw Manamorphose. Manamorphose for green. This doesn't matter, I don't think. And then we Company and hit Undercity Informer and Thassa's Oracle. Make sure I hit OK, because Collected Company is inexplicably backwards. Yes is on the left and no is on the right for every other card in Magic Online. But I will click OK to put these creatures into play. Put these on the bottom. In response to the Oracle trigger, target myself with Undercity Informer. Sacrifice the Undercity Informer to its own ability, yes. I worked way too hard for that. Oh, geez. All right. Note to self. Count the Manamorphoses in the deck. Also note to self. Don't start clicking until you've started counting. Also, note to self. Shrink your window so you can actually tell you how many lands are in play. All of those are important lessons moving forward. On to the next round, undefeated. I am on the play in round number 2. I have Recross. I have 2 mana Prism. I'm keeping this. Now the question is, do I want to shock in and Serum Visions, or do I want to not do that because my hand already has everything and the life total might be relevant? I think I'm not going to shock this in, or bolt this in, as the case may be. I think there are more decks in Modern right now that are going to beat up my life total than decks that are going to disrupt my hand. I'm just thinking about like Hammer Time, Burn, Is It, like all of those decks, the damage is a lot more important than card selection. Tide Shaper. All right, we got some Merfish over there. Okay, I do shock this one in, or bolt this one in, and I'm going to Pentad Prism for 2. Juice up here. Prism's in. I can recross the paths next turn. I have an extra mana if I draw a discard spell. Okay, another Cavern. Or Cavern. Another Merfolk is coming. This is definitely a deck that's going to punch me hard and might contain Force of Negation. So I'm only going to get 1 shot at this. And I actually do need to draw a land in the meantime, because I only have 3 mana for the following turn. Oh, I drew Inquisition. That's pretty fucked. If I Manamorphose and find a land, I can do everything I want to do. But then I don't have the counter on Pentad Prism for the next turn. Oh, this is actually kind of a tough spot. I think I Manamorphose here to try to hit the land drop. Or I can use the Manamorphose as an extra card draw on the combo turn to just put a... But I need the land in play. Oh, I can use this. I can put a shock land, or I can put Shatter Skull Smashing on top of the deck with Manamorphose under it. Okay. Green. Wish I had room to Inquisition here, but I actually don't. My spell resolved. That's good news. So I'm gonna put the Shatter Skull Smashing on top of the deck. I'll draw that first and use it to cast Manamorphose, which will find the Epic Experiment, which will hit the next 2 Manamorphoses. Okay. Shatter Skull Smashing, then Epic Experiment, then Manamorphose, Manamorphose, Feet, Belcher, and Pyroclasm, then Endurance, then it doesn't matter anymore. Pyroclasm, Endurance, Recross, then it doesn't matter. And then any order after that. Okay. They revealed Marrow Regery. I'm going to leave this on the top of my deck. Lost the Clash. I was guaranteed to lose the Clash because I put a 0 on top. And ties go to the defending player on clashes. Okay. I need them to not disrupt my mana in any way or have a counterspell of any kind. Easy game, right? What happens, though, if I just spend a turn Inquisitioning them and then combo on the turn after? Like, I'm up to... Oh, I don't have 4 permanent mana because of Pentad Prism. Lord of Atlantis. We know Marrow Regery's in their hand. So I take 6 here. I go to 9. All right, well, that's easy because I'm dead on board because I just have to go for it. Okay, draw. Shock this in. Yes. Manamorphose for blue-red. Blue-red. Epic Experiment. X is 2. Cast. Make red. Red. Ironcrag Feet. Belcher, Moment of Truth. Did they bait me in here, or do they actually not have it? Cool. Zap you. And they're at -25. We did it. We just ignored the blue deck and goldfish through them. We take those. King of the Depths wrote a primer about this deck, which I will include in the video description. But one of the things that they said was that Modern is generally constructed to beat creatures, not to beat spells. And that's kind of what we just saw. The blue tempo deck couldn't interact with us at all. Pretty great. I can bring in Fury here. Like, if I can take the pressure off, that gives me a lot of breathing room. Engineered Explosives also famously terrible for Merfolk. I don't think... The scary thing here is that Force of Negation is the most likely interaction they're going to have, and that exiles. So the Endurance Reset option isn't even really there. This is a matchup where I would have really liked to have a Pact of Negation in the deck, just a 1-of that I can put in my pile and help protect myself. Because with the Pyroclasms, Furies, and Explosives, the deck's actually pretty good at not dying right away to creatures. I could pivot onto the Coco Undercity Informer thing. That way Undercity Informer is at least a creature, which I can put into play and attack with if I get my thing Force of Negation. So Feet, Belcher. So drawing and activating Belcher at any point is still a thing you could do, even without the combo in. So Epic Experiment, Ironcrag Feet. I think I want out. I gotta cut 2 more cards. Endurance is a body. I think that's important here. Duress, pretty important also. Maybe Duress isn't that important, because Inquisition and Thoughtseize can take creatures and Duress can't, and their deck is mostly those. And probably one of the tap... Or I'll cut a Pentad Prism, I guess. I think that's wrong. I'm just running out of time. Oh, shit. I forgot to put in the Oracle. Oh, no, I ran out of time. All right, I'm going to have to belch them without Ironcrag Feet in my deck. God damn it. I'm such a brick. Okay. Hard mode activated. The good news is I'm going to keep this hand. It's pretty disruptive. Okay, so I'm going to have to recross the paths into Belcher and then just cast it and activate it over 2 turns. Sorry, King of the Depths. You deserve better than this. But at least I'm keeping it exciting. I'm going to lead on Seagate Restoration because that's the one that I don't care if it gets turned into an island. Leading on Balaged Recovery gets the tap land out of the way. Maybe that would have been the better play. Silvergill Adept, revealing Silvergill Adept. Okay. The cans are tripping. I'm going to Shatter Skull, and I will shock it in because I'm going to play Pented Prism on 2, and then I'm going to Thoughtseize. Definitely should have let on a tap land, the way this hand is played out. What do we got over there? Glasspool Mimics, Valen, Tideshaper. Alright, I was right to respect Tideshaper. They can play Glasspool Mimic, copying Adept, draw another card. Valen is indestructible some amount of the time. I don't want them to attack and draw cards. Yeah, I'm going to take that. My plan is to recross the paths next turn, and then I can set up a Pyroclasm into Belcher into activated over several turns. There's Tideshaper. They didn't want to mess with my mana, which seems strange because that's all I really got going on in this deck is like this delicate mana situation. But I guess getting on board matters a lot. Okay, green, colorless, colorless. Let's recross the paths. Did they draw Force of Negation in their 2 cards? They did not. Okay. How much mana do I actually have? Is hardcasting Fury a thing I can do? Having double red, I will eventually have that with Pented Prism. So I'm going to put Pyroclasm on top, and then I think Fury underneath it. These Mutavaults are going to be tough to beat up with Furies. Glasspool Mimic I don't care about. Will I have double red when I need it? So I have my land drop still this turn. And then next turn I'm drawing Pyroclasm, make my 4th land. Okay, I need a red source before I start casting Furies. So Shatter Skull, Smashing, Fury, Fury, Belcher. And by then I'll have a bunch of mana. I guess I should just be putting mana in the pile under that. Or I could, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have enough mana here. The 2 Furies should keep the board empty. And then maybe just Endurance as a body, and then Kojo as a rebuild. And I can put Pyroclasm in the Kojo pile. Pyroclasm, Spikefield Hazard in the Kojo pile. Spikefield's an instant though, that doesn't help. Scour. Okay, after that I'm just going to say any order. Okay, I have revealed Pyroclasm. Put it on top. My opponent revealed Lord of Atlantis. They are a mana short of Lord plus copy it to get out of Pyroclasm range. Glasspool Mimic copying Silvergull Adept, probably. They're just trying to draw another card. Why isn't aren't any of these Mutavaults in play yet? That's the card I'm worried about right now, and it's just not in play at all. Okay, so I'm drawing Pyroclasm here, and I can cast it. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna bolt in turn Timber Symbiosis first, though, because I also want a Pented Prism this turn. Because that lets me... Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Alright, yeah, Pyroclasm. Hopefully they don't have Spell Pierce. They didn't have Spell Pierce. I'm drawing Shatter Skull Smashing next turn, but Balaged Sanctuary gives me Engineered Explosives on 2, which will kill all of the creatures that I know are in their hand, and then I'm drawing the red source next turn, the Fury the turn after that, so then I just have to beat the Mutavaults with my 3/3 double strike. Either Vile, better late than never. Okay, they're just settling in here. What does this card do? Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put a creature card from them onto the battlefield. So I can just throw Fury into play with that. Don't think that's going to be the play, but it's a thing I can do. Little awkward here that Explosives on 2 is the number that I want, but that also kills my Pented Prism. But I'm still going to just make the correct play here. Pented Prism, done. Shatter Skull, the Hammer Pass. I want it as a land, not as a spell. Oh, they had Trickster in the end step. So Trickster... Oh, they can actually just 6 me right now, put me to 2. That's scary. I know all 3 cards in their hand. Wait, how is that possible? Vile Trickster. Didn't they just get a draw step? Or did they play it? I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, they didn't play their Lord. Why didn't they play their Lord? Are they trying to just Violet in on the super slow and beat me that way? Because I'm going to punish that line for sure. Cast Fury. Kill the Merfolk. All 4 damage on that. They can jump attack me to 1. Oh, right. They don't have Lord because I have... Right. Got it. I'm caught up. I don't think I want to play this turn Timber Symbiosis. Oh, no! All right. I'm dead. They runner tricksters for lethal. Ugh. Fuck my life. I worked so hard. So much harder than I needed to if I just, like, remembered to build my deck correctly. But, yeah, damn. They just activate the 2 Mutavaults, get me dead for Xaxes. Oh, my life is shit. Yep, dead. Runner Merfolk Trickster. Not bad. Okay, let's fix this deck so I'm actually, like, doing anything at all. I like the Furies a lot. Now they've seen them. That is cool that you can just stack your deck with removal. But, like I said, when I saw their opening hand off that discard spell, the Mutavaults were the scariest cards in that hand, and I did end up losing to them when I had most normal creatures covered. Okay. Oracle Informer. This is the package that I want in the deck. Selected Company. Do I want the explosives? Do I want Pyroclasm to do that work? I think between Pyroclasm and Fury, that's enough. I can still leave the Belcher in there as just the 7 mana play. You don't need Ironcrag Feet. Like, I have the straight combo here. You don't need Epic Experiment with the Coco version. Just taking a really hard look at this deck so I don't throw it in the trash again. Undead Prism's been really good. Maybe that card should just always be in as a 3-of. Uncuttable. I don't want to start cutting lands, and don't really know what's left to cut. Just like Thoughtseize, because there's not a lot of time against this attacking creature deck to sneak in a removal spell. Or I could cut one of the 2 mana cantrips and leave Thoughtseize in. Though the cantrips are pretty good because you can cantrip into Pyroclasm also, or Fury. I have the Coco into Oracle, Undercity Informer. Yes, that's what I want. All right. There is a functional deck here. We definitely would have won that last round because I went several turns into my Recross pile. I would like to play first. The Coco sucks. Thoughtseize, like, this hand is medium. I am going to keep it, though. Like, it's pretty disruptive. They kept 7. That hurts. I'm going to bolt in Agadeem and Inquisition them. Show me your moves. All right, they do have Counterspell in this deck. Do I fight over that? Oh, they have 2 Tide Shapers. I was worried about the first one. Okay, I think I'm going to take Adept, and then I'll take Counterspell later. And we'll see what land they want to hit with Tide Shaper. Like, they're going to be able to attack pretty quickly here. They play Tide Shaper on 1. Or not. Sure. They seem interested in messing with my lands. Thoughtseize you. This one's going to take the Counterspell, I think. Okay, I'll take Counterspell now. And then I'll play... Do I want to play Shatterskull? Like, yeah. And I'm not going to pay 3 for that. Because what land is the most important one here? I probably should have played Recovery. For some reason, I thought I'd be casting Coco just like as a magic card, but I'm not. That's not a thing that's going to happen. Okay, one of the Tide Shapers is handled, and they took me off red. That makes sense. Okay, cool. I'm going to play Sanctuary tapped. I think I want to try to get up to 5 mana and cast this Fury. We'll see what sort of pressure they put me under, but that does seem like a much more interesting play to me. They're probably going to hit my green here. Yep. It's alright. I have the red into Manamorphose. I take 2. Really hope to draw a land here. Inquisition. Okay, that's good too. Inquisition you. See what has developed. Probably taking a Lord of Atlantis. Oh, Hurkyl's Recall. Yeah, I don't care about that. I think I want to take Lord of Atlantis. They have Silvergill, Hurks, Marrow Ragery over there. I'm going to play the Shatterskull tapped. I can pitch Manamorphose to Fury if I need to, but I'm going to give myself the chance to draw a land and just put Fury into play. My life total is under pretty significant beats from these Shapers that are 2/2s. Mana? Oh, Recross. Is that even better? So they have Herx. They left up 2 mana. Why? Did they draw Counterspell? Let's find out together. I'm going to make green-red off of this. Or no, red doesn't matter because I had to tap my red. I'm going to make green-blue. Like Field Hazard. That is the land for Fury next turn, so there is a backup plan here. Let's recross. Did they draw Counterspell? We saw their hand last turn, so whatever they have, they just drew. Right, it's not Counterspell. I am going to have 5 mana next turn, and Coco's already in my hand. I need to Manamorphose into green mana, though, so my top card needs to be Manamorphose. The card under it needs to be something else. A Pact of Negation again would be excellent here. Like, I could put Pact second from the top, Manamorphose, draw Pact, and then cast Coco. So Manamorphose is on top. Second card under it. I could just grab Pyroclasm, just in case. Pyroclasm. And then I'm going to put my combo under that. So Informer, Oracle. And then after that, the next 4 cards are just going to get put on the bottom. Just 1, 2. I'm just picking random cards at this point. 3, 4. Under that, I can have another Fury in case we get that far. Fury. I can put Belcher under that as a 2-turn win. Recross under that to set it all up again. Endurance, Kojo, and then any order, I think. That looks fine to me. Okay, I'm going to leave Manamorphose on top. I do need that. My opponent revealed, looks like, Lord of Atlantis. Spikefield Cave as a land and pass the turn. Oh no, they have me. They're going to attack for 9 right now. God damn. Merfolk Trickster. Unbeatable. Unfucking beatable. Alright. My opponent played pretty well there. If I had taken Tideshaper instead of Silvergill Adept on turn 1 with my Thoughtseize, I win this game. Because they just don't have this extra power in play the whole game. Or if I just don't cast Thoughtseize, I have 2 extra life. But the Thoughtseize took Lord, which would it... Oh, wow. Cheese mode. They got me good. On to the next round. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. Okay, let's shake off that punt from last round, and I'm on the play for round 3. I have Recross, I have Disruption. This is a really good hand. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to lead on Celundi Vision land mode because it's the one that ETB's tapped. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana here. Yeah, I can Pentad Prism and use Prism to Inquisition next turn, and then I can recross with my lands, leaving Pentad Prism at 1 on the turn after that, and that is the combo. See what we're up against here. A Misty Rainforest strategy. Backup Recross is nice. Bolt in this land, play the Prism, use the Prism to Inquisition them. See what you're working with. I guess I should have just waited a turn, and I can Inquisition them and cast my thing all at once. Yeah, that was pretty loose. Archmage Charm, Chalice. Do I care about Chalice? They can't get it up to 2. I probably care about Prismatic Ending more than any of this other stuff. A Chalice, I'm casting 2 and 4 drops for the rest of the game. Oh, but by the time I untap into... Yeah, I have to take Charm. Glad I didn't pass the turn with that Prism on 2. Okay, they Chaliced on 1 instead of Prisming. which still messes me up if I don't draw a land. Oh, is that good or bad? Probably just bad, right? Wow, this sucks. Okay, Seagate Reborn. I'm gonna recross the paths. Let's go. That's what I'm here to do. Here is my deck now. If they ending my Prism, I am wrecked. I can put a land on top and slow it down and just play around that. But then they'll have Jason play by the time I do anything else. Having the feet in hand is kind of exciting. I also have Scour in hand. Can I do anything with that? Or do I just lean in? Here is my combo. Let's go. And that prismatic ending. It's so good. Well, I can slow this down because the feet is already in my hand. I just need to make sure I have double red when I get there. So I can set up a pile of Manamorphose is like always a freebie. I'll put that right there. And the Chalice on 1 actually coming in clutch here, because what I would like to do is set up a longer term plan that duresses them, but I can't actually do that. So Manamorphose on top, I'll put Epic Experiment under it, and then Manamorphose. What is the backup plan after that? Well, I need the Belcher, obviously. Put Belcher here. Oh, damn it. I did not need the Belcher, because Belcher is gonna get exiled to... Oh, man. This is so hard. And, like, I already clicked. My lessons learned are no longer learned. I'm a fool. Okay, I guess I'm gonna need Endurance and Recross. And I'll put a Kojo under there, just in case. Oh, I wanted a land much sooner than that. But, alright. Any order. I probably just beefed this pretty hard. Leave Manamorphose on top. I won the Clash. They're drawing a snow-covered island. So they know that I have Recross in hand, and I can just do this again, which might be my only saving grace, honestly, because I have effed this up. It looks like they have a white card they want to cast right now. Yeah, there's Prismatic Ending. Getting rid of that. So I can scour all possibilities in my hand. That's a good one. If I scour, I'm going to see the Epic Experiment, which I don't really want at this point. But, okay, I need red eventually. I'm going to Manamorphose, make blue-red, and then I'm going to scour all possibilities. And I want to put Manamorphose on top and Belcher in my hand. Okay, that's what I've done. They have Jace that can Fate Seal me, but putting Manamorphose on the bottom is the same as like not doing that. Oh, they clashed their land at the bottom, so they have 4 spells in their hand right now. I can recross the paths, get another setup. I think that makes sense. And if this baits a counterspell, I'm just doing a victory lap. Okay. What's the plan here? I need another land. Is there a way to remove that Chalice in the main deck? Are any of these lands also artifact removal spells? I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 Shatterskull Smashings on top, because I need to get up to 4 mana, and if they Fate Seal me with Jace, I want to make sure I still have it. Endurance can beat down, and I kind of like having access to that right away. And then Collected Conjuring under that, and some spells to hit with Collected Conjuring can be... They can't cost 1, and they have to cost less than 3, but more than 1. Palaka Predation meets that. That is a discard spell that I can cast. And I could jam Recross again, or I could Scour again. I think I want Scour in that spot. And then the 4 cards under that, they'll get shuffled away. But in case they counter the Conjuring, I'll put another Conjuring there. And then I'll put a bunch of 1-drops that are going to get shuffled away. And a backup Recross. And that's what I'll do with that. All right, they have Ice Fang Quaddle on top. This was supposed to be just a quick little combo league. But here we are, working harder. This might be the hardest I've worked in any match of Magic I've played recently. They bottomed their Coatl. Looks like they already have one. Oh no, Growth Spiral. That's cool. No land. They still have 4 spells in their hand. Their hand is 4 spells, including a Jace. Okay, I can play the Shatterskull thing tapped. Or I can... Yeah, I'm just going to play this tapped. And hopefully they Jace and Fate Seal me. But then they'll just see the same card anyway. If they tap out for Jace, I get to do stuff, though. They draw 2 cards. They did have the counter spell. I'm trying to work my way up to that Palaka Predation. They clearly have counter spells because they did not cast their Jace that they could have cast. I can scour all possibilities from the graveyard now. We have gotten into the grindy section of this game. I'm going to Manamorphose here. I think Endurance is my next card. Green, red. I want to make. Endurance is my next card, it's true. I'm just going to cast this card, see what happens. If I can work through a counterspell, that's cool. I think I do want to hit them in case they have Snapcaster Mage or etc. And then the Kojo should be next, which gets to cast a discard spell, maybe. To turn Memory Deluge. Yikes. That's a good card. I'm a mana short of Epic Experiment hitting Collected Conjuring. That would be pretty insane. That's just Value Town. Okay, I don't have a black source. All right, I'm going for the Kojo. Okay, cool. They let me have it. I'm casting Palaka Predation and Scour all possibilities. I should have cast those in the other direction so I know what they're in their hand before I have to scry. Inquisition on the bottom. I must have miscounted my number there. I also don't want this Recross the Paths. There's already one in my hand. And they're countering that, which means they don't have the mana to activate this thing. Means I can attack. There's Coatl. They didn't have enough snow permanents to turn that on. They're getting there, though. They have these snow duels in their deck. That's pretty cool. These are modern playable. When you just need 3 colors, can't afford to fetch basics, and you're playing Icewind Coatl. Cool, that exists. Fairy Hero of Dominaria. Okay. Probably not beating that one. Plus Teferi, untap 2 things. They're holding up every counterspell in Magic right now. Do I just YOLO Epic Experiment? I think I want to scour all possibilities from the graveyard. We're getting grindy here. Ented Prism, Manamorphose. Bottom. Is that mana fixing relevant? There we go. Take it. We've almost certainly lost this game. The opponent can play Jace this turn, and then with the Teferi ability, they can untap lands and easily hold up everything. Yeah, Chalice actually really taking control of this game. Like the Duress, Thoughtseize kind of stuff. That's what I'd be looking for, trying to punch my Belcher through. Seagate Restoration. Can I cast that? How? It costs 7. I can scour again, so I will. Kind of just looking for land drops at this point. And I found 2 of them. Top, draw, play my land. And in turn, I'm going to discard Pyroclasm. That's definitely not going to be relevant here. Growth Spiral from them in the end step. Normally, I at least get to enjoy that I'm ahead on clock during matches like this, but I'm not because I've been thinking so hard. I'm 7 minutes behind on the clock. They're almost at the point, if they're not already, where they can start firing up their 7/7 land and still holding up counterspells. Yep, Celestial Colonnade is active. If I don't block now, they have 7, 11, 12. Yeah, if I don't block now, they can tuck Endurance and just beat me next turn with Teferi. The other Seagate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can cast this, but shocking this in kills me. Okay. I'm gonna Manamorphose. See what happens with this. Make black, red, black, blue. Agadeem's Awakening. I could cast that, put Endurance into play, reset my deck. The Palaka Predation is really the only relevant card in my whole deck right now. Okay, I'm gonna go for the Epic Experiment. I'm just gonna elbow tap it for 5, see what happens. Or for 4. They gotta counter this, right? So I can just throw like Kojos onto the stack from this, which casts more spells, and They could just let it resolve. Okay, that's what they did. Nice. So cast this, it gets countered. Cast this, it deals 0 damage. Cast Recross the paths. Okay. Yeah, they just ignored it and it didn't fucking matter at all. Alright, let's recross these paths, see if I can get anything out of this. It looks like that's where they're deciding to put their counter spell. Makes perfect sense because it's the only one that's even a little bit relevant. And I'll play Agadeem tapped. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 mana with which to Belcher and Belch all at once. Not that I think that's going to happen. Another Deluge, jeez. Okay. Yeah, in the primer, King of the Depths specifically called out this sort of deck with 12 counterspells as a bad matchup, which we can imagine is clearly the case. So I think I would have won this game without Chalice in play. If I could have stacked up just a relentless slew of discard spells and then jammed all at once, I think that's a way to win this matchup. How greedy are they going to get with their creature land attacks? That's really all I can hope for. They did fire up the 7/7. They're putting me to 6. So I am dead on board. Got to do something. The important thing is they haven't seen Belcher. So my decision point becomes, do I go for it or just concede so they don't know exactly what my win con is? Or do I go for it and juke them with the other win con? I think that's the answer. Belcher. Really wish I could have tested with Duress there, but okay, we're dead. Chalice of the Void. Crushing magic card. Okay, I showed them Belcher at the end there specifically to juke them. So I want the feet out. I want Informer and Oracle in and Coco in. The Epic Experiment comes out if Belcher comes out. Pyroclasm does not have text in this matchup at all. Dreadbore is something I could see being helpful. Explosives clears out Chalice of the Void, which was a huge part of that last game. I could bring in the second Endurance just as a body. Fury could pressure the Planeswalkers. Like, this game is going to get to a grindy point. Yeah, maybe I just want all these bodies in the deck. If I'm doing that, shaving a Prism makes sense. Recross, I still want all of those. That is the must counter if there is one in this deck. Kojo's still good. Maybe another Prism gets cut. They could have Stony Silence. I don't know if that's a card that blue decks actually play anymore, but they could have it. I don't think I'm going to have room for Force of Negation. I would have to cut discard spells to make room for Force, and I think that discard is better. Even though Force does answer Chalice or Planeswalkers are most of the ways they have to pull ahead. And if the game goes like last game, we'll end up in pay 3 for Force territory pretty easily. I think I'm just going to cut a Spikefield Hazard, which is a land, but also like the worst spell of all the land spells. What do we got here? 2 mana, Scour, holding the Oracle, which I don't really want to do, but that does give me this like weird world where I can cast it over multiple turns and don't have to resolve a Collected Company. All right, just leading on my land. I'm leading on my blue land. I don't think it matters which one I lead on, but that is the one I chose. So shock this in, scour my possibilities. Looking for land drops here. Neither of those are a land drop. Bottom. Manamorphose might play here. Let's begin holding up counterspell for the rest of the game. I found my land. I'm going to scour again. That's another land and a Kojo. I actually want to top both of these. Top. Play another land. Next turn, I can hold my horses. They're probably going to Growth Spiral here, or Coatl. Yeah, it's Growth Spiral. Would definitely rather see Coatl. Time to figure out how bad this damage is going to be. Teferi, that actually straight up checkmates Collected Conjuring. You can't cast that spell. Great. Okay, I guess I'll just go for a Recross. Or I can Duress plus Recross next turn. So I'll play the Isle here and pass. Now they know they can do whatever they want. Continue plussing Teferi is a good option. Okay, I'm gonna Manamorphose, making black, 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 duress you. Force of Negation, Counterspell, Archmage Charm, Prismatic Ending. Okay, so I can take the Archmage Charm, so they can't draw more cards in response to this Inquisition of Kozilek, which can take the Counterspell, or I should take Force of Negation, because that's free and hurts more. Okay, they just cast Counterspell. That is the right play. Serum Vision, Pentad Prism. They're holding Prismatic Ending that doesn't really have targets right now. I don't want to give them one. Bottom, do I want this land? This land can help destroy Teferi, but it doesn't make the colors that I need. And I would have to Manamorphose the... I guess I'll top. Yeah, that land lets me cast Scour from the graveyard. I'm just going to make a 1/1 Shark here. Cool. Alright, 1/1 Sharks in play. We know about Prismatic Ending and Force of Negation over there. A plus Teferi again. I'm gonna Manamorphose for an extra color. See if I can sneak this Engineered Explosives in. Make black and red. Alright, cool. Found another land too. Explosives for 3. I haven't made my land drop yet. I want to make them think maybe they can get to their turn and bounce this, because they won't get priority once I have like so. All right, and Shatterskull, A3, and I think I want to blow up Teferi on their upkeep. Throw Spiral, okay. And blow up Teferi right now before they can draw a card off it. This Shark is the most worrisome permanent in play right now. Do they have a follow-up? Chalice on 1, okay. We know they have Force of Negation in hand. Oh, I tried so hard. I think Collected Conjuring is still a banger here. Conjuring, see if we can put them to the test. Oh, good. 2 things that get countered by Chalice. Didn't hit any of my spell lands there, just what I was really looking for. Play this tapped. Archmage Charm to draw 2. Alright, yeah. Them finding the Chalice, I think. Well, I didn't have black for the Thoughtseize anyway, so I guess it didn't really matter. But Conjuring into Inquisition would have been really nice. And this Shark beating down, it's going to make it pretty hard for me to get Hellbent naturally. I could go for Recross. They'll counter it. And then what happens? I think I want to Scour. They're going to let me grind. I'm going to try to grind. Okay. Want to top and top. The Hazard can kill the Shark, but I think that's less important than hitting my land drops. I can Recross twice next turn. I kind of put them to the test of, do you counter the Recross or fight over the second thing? And if you do counter the Recross, I have another one right away. Oh, right. Spikefield Hazard can't kill Shark because they have Chalice. Glad I played it as a land. Okay, let's recross these paths. Please counter it. Didn't fall for it. Okay. We know they have Force of Negation over there. I could just get like Fury, Fury, Endurance, Endurance, and go to town. Or I could put Collected Company on top, but I know they have Force of Negation. Maybe it's Explosives, but I do have to watch out for that Colonnade. I'm dead in 2 turns here. So probably Endurance, 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 Endurance. Right, no. I think I definitely want Endurance on top. So Endurance, then Explosives to clear the Chalice, and then Company, which can hit Endurance and Informer, and then put 4 cards I don't want under that. I haven't given myself a black source at all here. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards I don't want under that. After that, I'll take a black source, a Kojo, and Fury. Fury doesn't matter. Okay, that was kind of crazy. They have Spreading Seas on top. I will leave Endurance on top of my deck. And they bottomed the Spreading Seas. Okay. I also have 4 minutes left on my clock. I'm not going to be able to figure this out in time. Even if I do navigate this game, I don't have time for another one. They could also just kill me with Shark Typhoon right now. Charm to draw 2. That means that they have Endurance beat also, because I led on Endurance in order to try to juke the Force of Negation, but they spent their actual counterspell. All right, yeah, we're not winning this game. I'll just wrap it up. That was really tough. This is a really bad matchup. They have so many counterspells, and the Chalice just shut me down twice. I don't think you're going to win this one very often. On to the next round. I'm on the draw in round 4 against some sort of Lurrus deck. I'm going to keep this, hoping that Pyroclasm lines up well. My mana base is going to hurt here. I would really like to draw a tap land. On turn 1, just a non-red tap land would be a great start to this. Oh, they're not a Grief deck because they have Lurrus. Thoughtseize, though. My hand's pretty Thoughtseize proof. At least they can't just like take me off playing the game or take me off a color, because I did that to myself. Oh, they did take one of the lands. You have main deck Surgical? Holy shit, that would be a beating. Okay, I'm gonna play this one tapped. That way they can't take me off green with a second discard spell. They can just take me off red again, or take another red land that I have many of. Smallpox. Holy guacamole. Alright, that sucks. Guess I'm losing my green land. I think I want to discard Pyroclasm. At least I don't have any choices to make here. Green land straight into the trash. That makes sense why they took a land on the first turn. And knowing that, I'm definitely going to Pentad Prism for 1 if I get the opportunity next turn. Just get that thing into play. Urborg, Ithing Needle. Did they just name Belcher? That would make sense. Okay, that doesn't work. This is a mana ability. They discarded that card. Let's draw a untapped land of a different color. No love. I'm going to pay the life, and I'm going to play the Prism. It only gets 1 counter, but I think if I can cast a Collected Conjuring against this deck, I'm going to be in good shape. Put Lurrus in hand. On deck. Untapped land. Serum Visions. I could Thoughtseize their Lurrus right now, and then just play in stupid mode. I think that's worth doing. Hurts, but here we go. Just really not going to beat a Lurrus on this board state. Oh, Turok, Portable Hole. Yeah, I'm going to take Lurrus, definitely. But I'm not in good shape. Opponents just said in the chat, oh shit, mana abilities. Yeah. Yep, that didn't work. But they're still pretty far ahead. Land casts Turok, Con Queso. So they're going to have this 4/3 creature and shred my hand. Okay, leave me with a Collected Conjuring, maybe? Okay, they left me both. So now I got a runner land. Land here. Come on. At least Cabal Therapy's not in this format. I hope they Thoughtseize me. Just don't even care. Ha! Checkmate! Didn't even get the trigger off Turok. Played perfectly around that one. Land? Okay. Alright, now I need the untapped blue land. I'm taking 4 right now, go to 6. I can shock and go to 3 and just hope for the best. Alright, deck, help me out here. It's time. Oh. Is there any... There's no way for me to cast a spell this game. Because I'm going to be at 2, and all my lands come into play tapped. And that Prism doesn't do what it needs to there. Yeah, I think that game came down to the Smallpox. Like, I played around discard by running my land out, but then they were able to clip my green source, and then Cat in the Hat. That was that. What is my sideboard plan? Pyroclasm doesn't look very good. Engineered Explosives does look pretty good. We saw Urza Saga, Ithing Needle. They beat me with a 2-drop. That's definitely something I could beat up with some explosives. They're on some heavy mana denial shit, so I want to respect that. Like, that makes the combo pretty fragile. If I make my stack and then they Smallpox and just a land is gone, that's something that's going to be really hard to beat. I feel like I want the Furies here just to get into that mid-game hardcast mode. That's something I've been doing a lot, and I do think it's pretty good. I'm going to leave Feet in the deck. I'm going to leave the combo in the deck. I'm just going to add Furies and Explosives, and then what? Maybe a Collected Conjuring, though I do think that is one of the best cards against their deck. I just never got a chance to cast it that game. And maybe Duress is bad. Okay, I'm going to do this. This hand has no mana at all. This one, I can keep this. I'm going to send, I think, Endurance to the bottom. Or is it mana? No, it's Endurance. Send Endurance. I'm going to play the blue land. Oh no, I have to play the tap land. Sucks, because if they do Thoughtseize my blue land, then I don't have 2 mana next turn to Penthead Prism. Yep, there's that. There wasn't another line there. I could just, like, Manamorphose will get me into the Prism eventually, is what I was thinking. It's just, yeah, that sucks. But they took Prism anyway. Okay. Recognize that card as very good. I am going to play my Selindi Vision land. They don't have anything to do with 2 mana, so might as well work these tap lands into play. Just extremely interested in casting Collected Conjuring this match. Turok, heads up, no kicker. Smashing. I'm going to play the tapped green land again and pass. That way, between Manamorphose and Shatterskull smashing, I'm going to have red mana next turn. In for 2 with Turok. 6 cards still in their hand over there. Shadow Spear. Wow, that takes them off the ability to make a construct. They must not have a land. In which case, what are they doing? Okay, I'm going to bolt in this, the red land, so I can Kojo without using my Manamorphose. That can help set up my pile. Wow, I really only hit 1. Brutal. Then I can next turn Manamorphose into Serum Visions, but the Manamorphose doesn't matter. Put Manamorphose in the deck. And do I want Serum Visions? I already have a lot of cantrips in my hand. Surgicaling my Kojos. Okay, that's fine. That's not really what my deck does. Glad that wasn't post Recross. Though it is scary to know they have the surgical discard combo. But now they've seen my deck. If they just search for Pithing Needle on Charbelcher, I'm going to have a really hard time winning. They have gotten the Needle. And they've named the Belcher. Okay. Time to win with Fury. Equip the Shadow Spear. Okay. If I draw Fury right now, I'm actually in pretty good shape. Just rip it off the top. I did bring those in, right? I did. All right, just checking. I'm going to scour my possibilities. Inquisition, turn Timber Symbiosis. Bottom, top, because I want to cast Serum Visions this turn without taking damage anyway, so it's time to Manamorphose for blue-black. Blue-black. Inquisition you. Thoughtseize, Portable Hole, Vindicate. Vindicate's pretty good. I want to take the Thoughtseize, though. And a bunch of shit that I can't use. I'm going to bottom both of these. Then play my land tapped. They have a handful of 3-drops right now and only 1 land. I have to deal with this. Okay, this is going to strip Manamorphose, I'm sure. Yeah, that grows the Turok. Shit. Yeah, now even if I draw Fury, I can't cast it, and I'm on a 3-turn clock instead of 5. Ooh, I can cast this as spell mode. Reveal an instant or sorcery from among them, put it in your hand. Yes. Let's do that. Selindi Vision. Give me a vision. Recross the paths. Yep. Okay. I'm going to put Recross in my hand. If I shock this in, I go to 3, or I go to 5. They attack. I'm at 1. I believe this is the play that I have. Okay. I'm at 1. Let's do this shit. Then my pile is going to Manamorphose into Fury to answer Turok, and then I can try to combo out after that. Oh, Manamorphose into Fury. I need to answer the Needle after that. So Engineer Explosives goes under it, and then I'm out of Manamorphoses to combo with. Epic Experiment can be for a lot, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It can be for 4. Then I can Epic Experiment for just a bunch of cantrips and pull ahead. Epic Experiment for... Can't cast Thoughtseize. I will die. Scour. Scour. Visions. Visions. Then put the Belcher in there somewhere. And the rest doesn't matter. All right, put that on top. My opponent revealed Lingering Souls to the Clash, which I'm sure they'll send to the bottom. Okay, if they draw Inquisition or Thoughtseize, I lose because Tarok gets bigger. If they draw nothing, I can win. I'm also dead to Smallpox at any point because I'm at 1. Okay, Manamorphose for red-black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, red-black. Red-black. I can Inquisition you. Oh, there's the Smallpox. Get the fuck out. Then Fury. Kill this thing. And then we're in beatdown mode. They're at 27. We got some work to do. This is too big to be put in a portable hole. No lands, no 2-drops. I have no cards in hand for them to discard. Aw, yeah. I'm gonna play Explosives for 1. Just so they know what's going on here. And actually I can scour all my possibilities here, which turns on discard, but with Taraka to play, that doesn't matter as much. Top. My Epic Experiment is coming up next turn, which I think I need to be careful with because the Belcher is under all the spells. Uh-oh. Through a land. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I think that's where I want to end up on that. I think Belcher is the next card down after all these spells. Of course, I don't remember it all. I don't know. Just making all this shit up. Okay. Cast Serum Vision, Scour. Yes, I was right. Bottom, top, draw a card. There's Ironcrag Feet. Is that even good? Inquisition, probably not good. Yeah, I can't even cast this, not even close. Bottom, Black Predation, Pentad Prism, bottom, play Agadim, obviously tapped. A discard spell can take my Belcher, which sucks. Let's hope that doesn't happen. And I would prefer a discard spell to a Smallpox. Thoughtseize, okay. So they can take my Belcher. They got that going for them. Portable Hole can take my Explosives, but I don't need that anymore because my Belcher has been taken. Okay, they're pretty close to Lingering Souls, which is lethal, but the second Fury, I think, is coming up here somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can Seagate Restoration. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My hand goes up to 5 cards. Valakut Awakening's pretty good. They're down to 7. They have 2 turns here. No, they drew Collective Brutality to drain me. Oh, we were doing so well, but they did have a little bit of reach in their deck, and I had to go to 1. Bummer. That was exciting. On to the final round. I'm on the draw, and I actually like this hand a lot. It doesn't have green yet, but it does have Disruption and Cantrips, which is more than this deck usually gets to do. Bauble. Mishra's Bauble and no Luris. What deck has Mishra's Bauble but no Luris? That's weird. Oh. Well, this is fun. That will make my life extremely hard. My deck is built on stacking my deck and having control over what's going on. Okay. I'm gonna zap in Agadim and Inquisition them. Oh, 2 Thoughtseizes and an Urza Saga, or Thoughtseize Inquisition. I guess I'll take the Inquisition and at least make them hurt themselves to do this. And if they want to Thoughtseize me, then it's a turn late that Urza Saga gets to do anything, because their first land doesn't make black. Do I have any artifact removal in the main deck? If I could just bounce Codex Shredder and kill their Glimmer Void, that would be nice. They're definitely going to take Recross the Paths if they know anything about anything, though. And Codex Shredder doesn't beat Recross. I can just put an extra Manamorphose in the pile and work through it that way. Oh, they just milled another Recross. Just drawing wild. Okay. That's fine, though. I drew the... Do I want these lands? Probably. Red. Is red important? Is land important? Top. Yeah, I'm going to top both of those and pass the turn. I would like a green source so I can regrowth my Recross. Just re-theme deck. Oh, another Thoughtseize. Jeez. I hope they take Scour and not Recovery. I don't even know what I want them to take. These Thoughtseizes are really good. Stop taking stuff. Okay, they did take Scour. And they fell for my trap of milling me. Ancient Stirrings. Oh, they're going off. Lantern. Oof size large. Alright, we're in the squeeze now. I'm going to play my Block of Predation tapped. They can mill my Iron Crag Feet if they want to, which will slow down my combo significantly. And now the Manamorphose trick doesn't work because in retween Manamorphoses, they can see what my top card is. I'd have to set up a slower draw of like Manamorphose in my hand, but I'm going to be dead to these constructs way before that matters. Yeah, this sucks. And they can just give me Iron Crag Feet because it doesn't matter. Collected Conjuring. I can... This is already a 3/3. Can't even Pyroclasm it. Crypt of Agadeem. There's no creatures in my graveyard. There are very few in my deck. Oh no, I can't have a red source. I was going to say I can Shadow Skull Smashing for more with feet, but that's not a thing I actually have access to. Okay, I'm going to play the Shatter Skull thing tapped. They probably have to mill Kojo. Imagine queuing up with a deck that's trying to stack its deck to play a combo and get paired against Lantern control. What a world. I'm taking at least 5 right now. They probably just tutor up another Codex Shredder or a Pixis and just make sure I can never do anything. Pithing Needle, naming Charbelcher, probably. I know that's the right name, but it's probably pretty clear what I'm up to. You don't put Iron Crag Feet in your deck if you don't have Goblin Charbelcher. Yep, name Charbelcher. Modern players are smart. They know what's going on. And I take 5 now, and they can control my next 2 draw steps, 10 next turn. I'm just deterministically dead on board. I've seen enough. Okay. This is a nightmare. Nature's Claim. Nature's Claim. Explosives. Explosives. I'm going to get off Belcher because they're not going to let me stack my deck right. So I want the basic forest in if I'm doing that. Let's bring in all these alternate win cons. This is definitely going to be the thickest sideboard we've done. Most of the sideboards coming in. 13 cards coming in. Let me see if I can actually make this make sense. So Belcher, Iron Crag Feet out, Epic Experiment out, though that is a banger against Lantern. Pentad Prism is fine, Pyroclasm is bad. I like the cantrips, I like Conjuring. Those are both things that beat up on Lantern. Hitting them with a discard spell on literal turn 1 is pretty good, but any time after that it sucks. I think I'm going to ship all of the discard. This is actually somewhat coherent. And I'm going to have to lose 1 real card. I think Palaka Predation can go out because I've boarded out all my black spells. And that's an ETB tapped land. And I'm bringing in an actual land. Okay, I'm going to do that. What does my hand do? It has land, explosives. I'm going to play explosives on 1 because that does give me a lot of insurance moving forward. Just get this into play and make it happen. That can beat up the Shredder, the Lantern, whatever. Gotta watch out for the basic forest if I go for Undercity Informer combo. We'll see what they want to do here. They could just strip the Informer. I honestly hope they do take Informer, because that's not really my plan, though it does attack for 2. If it were me, I'd probably take Manamorphose, or you could start beating up on the lands. I don't know. Glad I don't have to make this decision. They took Fury. They're playing the long game. I'm going to play Valaged Recovery. Like, that is a cool card to have later. Because if they're going to be milling me, being able to regrowth a card is not irrelevant. But at the same time, having my lands is going to be pretty important too. Oh, we both were on a juke. I see. Kojo. All right, I'm going to Manamorphose into black mana, see what happens. I'm going to make green black. Because I have a blue source if I want it, or red black. Red black. I'll play Seagate Reborn. I will lose 3 life, and I'll play my creature that can block Bob. All right. This match is definitely going exactly how I planned it. They drew Codex Shredder. Saga's on 2. Stirrings. Finds a non-black land. Needle. See if they name Belcher, Informer, or Explosives with this. They named Explosives, okay. They're trying to get the hooks in. There's the Shredder, just shredding me. Fearlessly. Okay, I'm gonna Kojo here. Yes. Please hit 2 relevant spells. The Spike Field Hazard's actually insane. It hits Bob if I find it. Okay, I can recross and immediately draw a card with Scour. So I'm going to put Scour second, or on the stack first, which means recross will resolve first. Now I have to outmaneuver this. Oh, I literally have a land in my deck. That's so fucking funny. Oh, right. That means this doesn't work. That's also funny. Which means that any order, because it doesn't matter. Anamorphose on top, Concealed Courtyard on top. Okay. I would like to leave this card on top. I won the Clash, which means I get Recross back, so I can refire it next turn. But the lands are all out of my deck now. So Undercity Enforcer is a beater. Does represent lethal with my Oracle if I can find it. That's funny. First time that's come up. You can actually recross for a land. Post board. The real transformative sideboard. Okay. Top. I'm going to draw the Manamorphose, let them mill the other recross that I don't need. Can I win next turn? I think I can. Unless they have a second needle for my Informer, then I'm in trouble. Let's hope they don't have that, but they probably do. Let's be serious. They do. Surprise. If they tap their Shredder right now, I might be able to still win. Oh, a third needle. This is on Belcher. This one's going to be on Informer. Please tap your Codex Shredder. All right, cool. Milled recross that I don't care about. Is there a pile here that can win? Probably really close, honestly. Conjuring. That's interesting. If I recross, I can Manamorphose, Serum Visions, have multiple cards available. I'm 1 mana short, I think, because if I recross, but I'm several mana short actually. Can I survive the turn and do it next turn? 5, 6, 7, maybe. So recross the paths, casting that, and then I'm gonna put Nature's Claim, Thassa's Oracle, and Nature's Claim on top. And then Gaia's Blessing under that. And then it doesn't matter after that. Endurance, maybe, just for good measure. Okay. Any order after that. Nature's Claim's on top of mine. Spellskite's on top of theirs. I lose the Clash. Leave this on top. But there's fucking Spellskite. That's fun. Okay. Manamorphose. I'm going to make green, blue. Then Manamorphose. It's going to make green, blue. And then Nature's Claim is going to kill the one on Undercity Informer. And then Serum Visions is going to draw Nature's Claim. And then I have Endurance on top of the deck and Gaia's Blessing on top of it. So if they mill me, I shuffle in. Spellskite, they have 4, 5, 6, 7 damage in play right now. Oh shit, I don't have a second blue. Damn it, I needed that other Manamorphose. Okay. They had the Thoughtseize anyway. But this deck's mana is a trip to navigate. They took Claim. That's interesting. So now if I rip a blue source, they lose. They didn't mill me. That's fun. I can mill myself, but it doesn't do anything. Oh, good thing I have Gaia's Blessing. Wow, I did not board in a smart way. If I conjure into... Oh, it's only sorceries. All right, fine. Gonna have to conjure here. Recross the Paths and Agadeem's Awakening. Okay. No targets for that. Recross again. I think I messed that up. I mean, they had all the interaction anyway. Is there a way to not die here? I don't think so. Because they just attack with their 5/5. I chump. I could just stack Furies on top of my deck. But I can't cast those either. I can't get an Endurance in my hand, like pitch endurance, like block, sack, pitch endurance. Yeah, I'm dead here. I don't know if I messed that up or if they just had me covered in the right angles, but wow. This deck melted my brain. Yeah, absolute brain melting out of my ears. I definitely messed up against Merfolk when I forgot to bring in a win condition. Like, that match was winnable. I resolved my recross, got 2 or 3 turns, and they were able to beat my fair plan because I didn't have an unfair plan to represent. That was pretty rough. The rest of these things, it's like navigating the Pentad Prisms, the Manamorphoses, the temporary colored sources, what counterspells they could have, how to stack to beat them. Like, honestly, Legacy Doomsday is easier to play than this deck. And I am not kidding about that. Like, the Epic Experiment, the Pivot sideboard, oh my god. This deck was so hard to play, and I'm sure I messed up places I didn't even know. I messed up a lot of places I did know. Maybe there were longer term plans, like things that I messed up on turn 1 that I didn't notice were messed up until turn 4. And wow, King of the Depths, you are out of your mind for building this deck. I hope that you're playing it better than I am. This is, with some reps, would obviously help, like being able to understand like what piles look like and stuff. That matters more, like really keeping track. Like, recording this video, my primary focus was getting the pile right, and then I lost all of the tertiary things you need to keep track of, like your life total, or how much colored mana you have, or how many Manamorphoses you've already cast this game. Like, all of those things matter a lot, and it's a lot to keep track of. And just trying to play this ice cold on camera for the first time, you can see how tough that was. This is a hell of a brew. King of the Depths, hats off to you for thinking of this absolute madness. And the deck was cool. The pivot plans were good. I felt like the Furies in the sideboard, like when the game slowed down because they board out their removal and they're just playing to beat your combo, and then you just cast Fury and attack a bunch of times. That's certainly a cool thing you can do. I like that a lot. We did get to combo at least once, so I'll take that. Like, game 1, match 1, we got the combo on the board. Anyone who just watched this video for 10 minutes got to see that. Anyone who's still sticking around at the end here got to see a whole lot more. I want a Pact of Negation in this deck. That's the one real deck building thing I would offer, probably over one of the discard spells. Like, just lose one of the Inquisitions, put in Pact of Negation, because that would have made sense in the pile more than once, and it would have been really good. That's my one deck building consideration for this. The other, I guess, if you want a bigger swing in a different direction, is if you get rid of the Coco, Oracle, Undercity Informer juke and just have more creatures. Like, Fury was the best thing coming out of the sideboard, the Fury Endurance thing. If you just have like more of that, I think there's a better juke plan there. Just more creatures, beat down, do something different, but you still have some amount of combo left. That's for your consideration. I don't know exactly what that would end up looking like, but those are my thoughts. Definitely Pact of Negation, maybe a different transformational sideboard juke. That's my feedback. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, King of the Depths, for sharing this with me. This was an adventure, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for the next video.